Hello XDA Developer TV viewers. Last night, I was asked to do an interview with XDA senior member Ann John, also known as Johnny Andrus. He is the creator of a Kickstarter project called Casetop, which is essentially, it's like a laptop without a main board that will take any sort of a mobile phone or a tablet or things like that and give it a larger screen and a keyboard, things like that. After some minor technical difficulties, we managed to get a hangout going. We did this live over on the XDA Roundtable channel, so if you want to watch the full video from that, I'll have the link to that down in the video description. Otherwise, I've put together a highlight reel that should be relatively short, honestly in about the 10-minute range, so hopefully you enjoy that, get some good information out of it, and if you want to help support his Kickstarter and maybe get one of the Casetops for yourself if the Kickstarter succeeds, head on over to the Kickstarter link, which will also be down in the video description as well.
This episode of XDA Developer TV is brought to you by the XDA DevCon. Join us August 9th through 11th in Miami, Florida, a conference for developers by developers. More information available at www.xda-devcon.com.
Excellent. Well, essentially, it boils down to an ecological way to use technology in the future. So this we believe is the first step, and essentially what it is it turns every smartphone, and by every I mean the majority of Android phones, iPhones, and Blackberries, and there's even like Raspberry Pis and that kind of thing. Essentially, you plug it in, and it enables 30 hours of battery life, a full keyboard, 1080p screen. Like it's ridiculous. And not only that, there's a section on the front that you can slide out and slide close to 17. We have 17 planned front bars right now that all do different things. Some of them are passive, where they don't add any electronics. They just move your phone to different positions. Mm-hmm. And then we also have 8 that we're planning on that are active. So they add AirPlay, wireless video, and there's one called the Andy Bar, which is going to be based on a HDMI stick Android device.
Okay, so the Kickstarter campaign has been going on for, what, 3 weeks now or so? Okay.
Yeah, and we've been doing quite well. The first day we had a bit of an explosion of $24,000, so that's pretty good. Our Kickstarter campaign has been doing pretty decent, and we're one of only, I can't quite remember the statistics, but what I've heard is that only 600 Kickstarters have ever gotten above 60,000.
Oh, wow.
So we're on the short list.
Yeah. I know, like you were saying, this definitely does scratch an itch that is not really being fulfilled. Motorola put out their Atrix lap dock and kind of had it very specific to one device or another, and like you said, yours is relatively universal.
I had this idea probably a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago, and the Atrix came in and kind of ate my lunch about a year later, and I looked at it and looked at it and looked at it, and I eventually couldn't pull the trigger just because of price and the fact that it works with just 1 or 2 phones. And essentially, it boiled down to, if we're going to change the world, we got to make it work with every phone. We got to make it easy to just use all of them. So pretty much that's where I focused, is that universal everything. Well, what I think is really fun about this is we're really the only people to try something that works across manufacturers, and our end goal is Casetop in every hand. It's not Casetop plus our specific phone in every hand.
Right.
And I think that these companies are just way too short-sighted to really see where you can go with this. Like, this is the car of this century. I think it's big.
And I'd seen something on the Kickstarter page about having operability with different tablets, and the iPad specifically being mentioned. Have you explored, I know a lot of tablets do have that same MHL functionality. What sort of range are those? What ones would be covered?
Pretty much anything with MHL works. Basically, all we need is micro HDMI or micro or MHL or HDMI. Like, any video out that's digital, we can take. With some of the more odd digital outs, we might need an adapter, but anything based on HDMI or MHL, we can accept. So the way that would work really awesomely with apps and stuff like this is that I know there's an ident in Android that can check if there's a second screen. So it may be possible with a tablet that we could have the kind of dual monitor approach with tablets, where you'd have your tablet on the side on a table, you'd have the casetop next to it, plugged in with the MHL cable, and with proper app support, you could have dual monitors. Yeah.
Now, with some of the other tablets, like the Nexus 7, they do not have MHL support. I saw something on the Kickstarter about potentially supporting Miracast in the long run. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, we're going to be actually focusing on that one. AirPlay and MHL are going to be our primary focuses.
Some of the future
and
front
what that's
bars.
going to be. Exactly, and that's going to be the first. Those are going to be the first active front bars that we'll work on.
Yeah. So the Kickstarter at this point ends in, as of right now, about 5 days, a little under, right? And the time frame for the actual products.
It's December of this year, which gives us approximately 6 months. So we're looking at December on a successful Kickstarter campaign, and we're hoping for February if we aren't successful, and we can convert some people to pre-orders and kind of shore up the remaining amount with outside investment. So we're going to do it regardless, because I think it's too powerful of an idea to let it slip. So it'll be what I'm working on until I'm not.
One thing I just realized, we've been on here for a little while. I haven't asked, do you have a sort of production prototype of it or anything that you can just like hold up? And
I do. I can show you guys something quick. I've had to disassemble it a little bit for different reasons. I had to take some pictures and stuff. But I can show you guys all the options here.
Okay.
It's very, very hacker friendly. And being kind of a modern messer of things myself, I needed it to be easy to modify. So this is the main body of the unit here, and it's entirely one piece of polycarbonate. If you look here, there's no seam on the front, and the only seam that you see is on the back. And the reason why we did that is it adds a lot more strength and rigidity, and it'll be able to deal with more bumps and that kind of thing.
Right.
And then if you look here on the back, we have this. This is the only other panel that we have on the Casetop here, and it slides into the back, just like that. And we've also made it so that the seam is inlaid. And the reason why we did all this is that it's a lot more sturdy, and it's not gonna like have a problem with it down the road where like the edges are splitting or anything like that. And then I'll slide in the front bar I was showing quickly here. This is our standard model. This is the first one that I invented here. So it just slides in, and you can slide it right out. And I showed this before on one of my videos, but you can see the ratcheting system here. And basically what happens is your phone gets squeezed between this front bar and the main body. So between these two bodies, your phone would be squeezed in there. It's very sturdy. Like, they use the same kind of hinge and like ratcheting system on truck beds and semi-trucks.
So, I mean, from the sound of it, very customizable, modifiable, lots of different options available. So it's really a one-size-fits-all with the right modifications. Anyway, so we've been on here for a little while. If anybody has any questions about it or wants to know anything more about it, where should they go to contact you for more info?
Well, they can just send me a message on the Kickstarter account if they're around there. They can also email me, john@libbydesign.ca. You can also go to casetop.ca and check, like, there's a bunch of stuff at the bottom of the page.
Lots of different ways to get in touch with you. 5 days or so left on the Kickstarter campaign, so we do definitely wish you the best of luck with that. And for those of you who are interested in a product like this, definitely go check out the Kickstarter. It's, I think, $250 to get invested in your Casetop. All right, that will wrap it about up for me, unless you have anything else you'd like to say about the product, your company, anything like that?
Just that we kind of want to change the world a little bit.
Very, very admirable plan, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming on XDA Developer TV, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and this short half an hour interview we ended up doing. That's going to be all from both of us today. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you again in the future. Bye, guys.